Get in the car and buckle up. It's time for road tripping with Steve. Here's your host, Steve Williams.
Hey y'all, Steve. We're here in the Dixieland Historic District of Lakeland, Florida. And right behind me, right there, is Lake Hunter. And we're gonna go do a little bit of just driving around and see if we can find some things around Dixieland, shall we? But before we do, I just want to observe a moment of silence for Adam the Woo, legendary YouTuber. So please join me in a moment of silence. Amen. Rest in peace, Adam the Woo. We're taking a little drive around Dixieland, digging some of these old houses. We're on Hunter Street right now. And the one thing I really like about seeing this neighborhood is this old brick paved street. The neighborhood is now on the National Register of Historic Places. Yeah. So just dig all these old houses, man. And I believe it's been on the National Register of Historic Places since 1994, so a little over 30 years. Oh, there's South Dakota Avenue. Yeah. Turn down South Dakota Avenue. Okay. Wow. Cool. Yeah. We're just exploring. That's all we're doing. All right. There's West Highland Street. Cool. Back in the late 2000s, I actually had a YouTube channel called the Georgia Road Geek where I did ROADGEEK-CAM. So this is probably the closest thing I've done to ROADGEEK-CAM in about 15 years. All right, we're going to turn on to New York Avenue. There's a lot of these streets that are named for estates and whatnot here in Lakeland. And again, we're driving through the Dixieland neighborhood. Love these old houses. All right, we're on Patterson Street. Let's go check out this one house over here. That's a pretty cool house. I like the Christmas decorations. Cool. Props to whoever lives there on Hunter Street. Props for your Christmas decorations. Well, let's just keep moving on. Well, here we are, folks, in front of one of the unique roadside attractions you can find here in Lakeland, Florida, right here in the Dixieland community. I'm here at the famous Dixieland Dragon, so let's take a look at it, shall we? Oh man, I wonder how long it took this dude to put this thing together. Oh, looky here, looks like he's got old engine parts. Oh, I don't know, looks like an old shock. Saw blades. Look at them ferocious teeth. Yeah, baby, look at that tongue. Hey. I bet Gene Simmons would be jealous. I bet he wished he had a tongue like that. Yep. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, here's a little bit about the dragon. I am Dixieland Dragon. The artist, Keith Williams, no relation. And it was designed by Fourth Dimension Fabrication. And of course, he gives you a nice reminder and warning that you shouldn't be climbing and hanging on it because you will get seriously injured. So just keep that in mind. In other words, admire it, just don't climb it. All right, another angle. Ferocious, baby. Now look around here. Yeah. Yeah. You know, from the looks of this thing, I would kind of beg to differ. I don't know if you'd really call it a dragon. Well, I mean, it looks like a dragon, but it sort of kind of reminds me of, I don't know, Lakeland's version of the Loch Ness Monster. Nice tail. Yeah, nice tail. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's got a nice tail. Yeah. I wonder how many folks stop here and take time to take a look at it. Wow. I think any trip to Dixieland neighborhood in Lakeland is definitely worth checking out the Dragon. Definitely worth your time. If you like odd and quirky things. Wow. Pretty cool. That's right, folks. So we've got the Dixieland Dragon. And we're just about well, right in here in an alleyway that goes right behind some buildings, I believe, including the Lakeland Dixieland Post Office. And right in the background where you see all the traffic, that's South Florida Avenue. But yeah, if you're down here in Lakeland and you like to see roadside oddities, definitely come check out the Dixieland Dragon. Pretty cool. And the dragon sits right here. And there's an alleyway. So if you need to sneak Sally through the alley, you could sneak her right through this alley. But watch out for the queen, because you might get caught. That's right. Sneaking Sally through the alley. Boom, 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 boom. And up pops the queen. Wow, wow. Wow, wow. Right behind me here on Florida Avenue is one of the first modern Publix supermarkets built in the 1940s by George Jenkins. Notice the Art Deco style of architecture. The very first Publix supermarket was built in 1940 in Winter Haven, Florida. You can see my Publix history tour video that featured that Publix, but this Publix right behind me here, which is the original Dixieland Publix, is also a 1940s era Publix supermarket. This is when supermarkets started coming out with things like air conditioning, which down here in Florida, Lord knows you need air conditioning. And George Jenkins was actually a pioneer in building air-conditioned modern supermarkets. That originally said Publix. Here's what the Dixieland Publix looked like back in the day. Wow, nice mural. Dig that old-timey bicycle. You know, I have been up and down Florida Avenue so many times over the past 20 plus years when my wife and I would come down here to visit family that this is really the first time I've really taken time to just kind of stop and smell the roses, so to speak. And I would have to say that Adam the Woo inspired me to do this thing today. So, Adam, wherever you are, buddy, of course I know where you are. You found another home. Of course we know you're not alone on the night shift, bro. And again, there's an original 1940s Publix, which is now the Waller Center. I decided to take a break for a moment and come by the Starbucks here on Florida Avenue in front of the Southgate Shopping Center. And the reason I chose Starbucks is I wanted to do it in honor, memory of Adam the Woo. Now, I didn't get a piping hot beverage like he would do, but I got me a nice cold caramel or special Christmas kind of mocha latte. And and a nice pipe. Well, they do have a piping hot sandwich. So here's the piping hot for you. And I'm piping hot sandwich, even though we don't have a piping hot drink. So we're going to enjoy our sandwich, and then we'll get back to the rest of our road trip. All right, folks, we're at the Crowder Brothers Ace Hardware store, where we're going to search for their world famous helpful hardware cat. We're walking. Oh, okay. We are searching for Irma, the helpful hardware cat. Where are you, Irma? Where bees the Irma? Yes. Irma, looking for the hardware cat. Yeah, she's got to be here somewhere, I hope. And I can't go in there because there's a restricted area. Even if Irma was there, they probably wouldn't let me in. Irma! Irma! Here, kitty, 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 kitty! Where's Irma? I was told Irma may be somewhere in the front. So we're in search of the elusive, helpful hardware cat, Irma. Oh, where's that Irma? Where's the Irma girl? Hey, Irma. Where are you? Well, folks, Irma apparently did not want to be found today. So she's somewhere here at Crider Ace Hardware. You may run into her, you may not run into her. I did run into her a little over a year ago, and if I can find that footage from then, I'll post a section with Irma for you. But trust me, Irma's still here. The employees have verified that Irma's still here. She's just like any other cat. She's going to do what a cat's going to do. I give you, Irma, the helpful hardware cat. Since Irma's chilling, I'm not going to stick around too long. Hi, Irma. Bye, Irma. Oh, I did not want to leave without buying something, so I bought me a nice cold cherry Coke Zero. Well, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this brief road trip with Steve today. It's not often that I do get to go and see some of these things around town, here or back where I live for that matter. It's like we take it for granted. I've always been fascinated with roadside attractions, and today I just thought I'd do a little bit of looking around before we head back to Atlanta tomorrow. So be like Adam the Woo. Don't be afraid to go out there and just explore. You don't have to be a YouTube star to do it. Just find something that's interesting. You know, a roadside attraction? Stop by, take some pictures. You know, slow down a little bit. We all need to do that sometimes. Hey, I'm guilty of it. But, well, I just want to say thank you all for watching today. And ask you to like, subscribe, share, add a comment. Do you know of a roadside attraction that you like that maybe you ought to go visit? Put it in the comments. Most of all, please, for goodness sakes, be kind to one another. Life's too short. Yeah, beep beep to you too. Until we meet again, peace out, y'all.